Imagine walking into a crowded room. The air is thick with the noise of clinking glasses, forced laughter, and the relentless hum of superficial chatter. Everyone is performing. Everyone is wearing a carefully crafted mask to survive the exhausting pace of the modern world. In a society that praises the loudest voice in the room, where the relentless pursuit of success often leaves our spirits battered and hollow, true connection feels like a forgotten art. But then, across the room, you notice someone. They are not standing on a table, they are not dominating the conversation, yet there is a gravitational pull toward them. Their energy feels incredibly still, like a quiet sanctuary in the middle of a chaotic metropolis. People whom they have just met are speaking to them with the comfort of old friends. Strangers are dropping their defenses. This is the quiet, invisible magic of the INFJ personality. They possess a rare, profound ability to unlock instant, undeniable chemistry with almost anyone they cross paths with. This is not about manipulative charm or artificial charisma. It is about a deep, soulful resonance. Today, we will journey into the heart of this phenomenon, exploring the 6 beautiful ways these rare individuals create bonds that bypass the mind and speak directly to the soul. To understand this chemistry, we must first look at the way they observe the world. The first pillar of their relational magic is their deep, observational intuition. An INFJ does not merely listen to the words tumbling out of your mouth. They listen to the silences between your words. They are the quiet readers of the human heart. In an era defined by rapid growth and endless competition, much like a city that has relentlessly built itself up from nothing into a towering skyline, people are used to being overlooked. We smile when we are heartbroken. We laugh to cover up our profound insecurities. Most people accept this performance at face value, but the INFJ sees through the armor. Within the first few moments of meeting you, they notice the slight hesitation in your voice. They catch the way your eyes drop when you mention a certain memory. They sense the heavy emotional undertow beneath a seemingly light-hearted joke. And the most beautiful part is that they do not judge you for it. They do not treat you like a psychological puzzle to be solved or a broken thing to be fixed. They simply absorb your truth with immense care. When you sit across from an INFJ, your subconscious mind recognizes that you are finally being seen. Not just looked at, but truly deeply seen. This creates an immediate rush of emotional safety, laying down the foundation for a chemistry that feels both ancient and instantaneous. This brings us to their second gift, a warm and fiercely genuine presence. There is an unmistakable comfort in the presence of someone who has no desire to compete with you. In our daily lives, so many interactions feel like a battlefield of egos. We are constantly spoken over, misunderstood, or rushed. But stepping into the atmosphere of an INFJ is like coming home after a terribly long and exhausting journey. Their energy is grounded. Their smile does not stretch tight with pretense, but softens with real, breathing emotion. They create a psychological safe harbor. Imagine a society that has survived through immense historical hardships, where generations have had to build walls just to protect their families. In such a world, trust is a highly guarded treasure. Yet, the INFJ effortlessly melts those historical and personal walls. They do this by offering a kind of unconditional respect. Whether they are speaking to a seasoned executive, a weary shopkeeper, or a lost teenager, their core energy remains beautifully constant. They wait patiently for you to finish your sentences. They remember the seemingly insignificant details you mentioned an hour ago. They respond not with prepackaged advice, but with tender acknowledgement. This genuine warmth tells your nervous system that it is finally safe to rest, and chemistry, at its very core, is born in the soil of comfort. The third element that weaves this instant chemistry is their reflective depth in conversation. Small talk is the currency of the modern world, but to the INFJ, it is emotionally bankrupting. They endure the shallow waters of weather and workplace gossip only as a necessary bridge to reach the vast ocean of human meaning. They do not talk simply to fill the empty space in a room. They speak to touch your spirit. While a casual acquaintance might ask you what you do for a living, an INFJ will lean in slightly, their eyes gentle, and ask what has been inspiring you lately or what dream keeps you awake at night. This subtle shift in dialogue is incredibly disarming. It catches people delightfully off guard. You realize suddenly that the person sitting opposite you genuinely cares about the architecture of your soul. As you speak, they do not formulate their next sentence while waiting for their turn. They listen with their entire being, and when they finally respond, they hold up a mirror to your deepest self. They reflect back the emotions you could not name, weaving your thoughts into a grander, more beautiful perspective. This is not an interview. It is a shared emotional dance. By elevating the conversation from the mundane to the meaningful, they spark a brilliant connection that makes strangers feel like companions who have traveled together across multiple lifetimes. Beyond words, the fourth profound way they forge a bond is through energetic alignment. Every human being emits a frequency, a rhythm of emotional energy. Most of the time, we walk into social encounters completely out of tune, carrying the static noise of our stressful days, our anxieties, and our frantic schedules. The INFJ, however, enters the space already tuned to a frequency of calm. They are the human equivalent of a tuning fork. When you bring a chaotic energy into their presence, they do not fight it, nor do they let themselves be overwhelmed by it. Instead, they gently anchor the space. They slow their breathing. They lower their tone. They mirror your body language in the most subtle, non-intrusive ways. It is a purely instinctual act of harmony. Over a few minutes, without a single word of instruction, you will find your own energy beginning to settle. Your racing heart calms. Your frantic thoughts slow down. You align with their peaceful rhythm. This is the unspoken chemistry of the soul. It feels magnetic because it provides a profound sense of emotional regulation. You find yourself drawn to them because, in their presence, you actually become a more peaceful version of yourself. This energetic synchronization is impossible to fabricate. It is the pure resonance of two spirits finding a shared melody in a noisy world. The fifth secret to their instant chemistry is their mastery of contained vulnerability. Vulnerability is a deeply misunderstood concept. It is not about pouring all your traumas and deepest fears onto a stranger the moment you meet them. That is overwhelming. True vulnerability is an art, and the INFJ is a master artist. They are inherently private individuals, carefully guarding their inner sanctuary. However, they possess a profound intuition for knowing exactly when to lower the drawbridge. They listen to your struggles, your stories of resilience, and your moments of doubt. And right at the perfect moment, when the conversation hangs in a delicate balance, they offer a quiet piece of their own humanity. They might share a brief, softly spoken memory of a time they felt entirely lost, or a gentle admission of a flaw. It is never dramatic. It is never designed to steal the spotlight. It is simply a way of saying, I have been in the dark too, and you are not alone. This contained vulnerability acts as a powerful catalyst for trust. It shatters the illusion of perfection and replaces it with shared humanity. When you realize that this wise, comforting person is also walking a deeply human path, your heart opens completely. This carefully timed honesty creates an unbreakable bond, accelerating a new friendship into a deeply rooted connection. The final, exquisite way they unlock this deep connection is through subtle guidance that feels perfectly natural. An INFJ will never demand control of an interaction. They do not bulldoze conversations or aggressively steer topics. Instead, they are like the gentle banks of a quiet river, softly guiding the water toward the vast ocean. Their intuition allows them to sense exactly where a conversation yearns to go. They can feel the exact moment you want to open up about something difficult, but lack the courage to start. Without ever pushing you, they ask the perfect, tender question that builds a bridge for your thoughts. They might gently say, "That sounds like it carried a heavy weight for you. What did that chapter of your life teach you?" These questions are invitations, not demands. They never offer unsolicited, rigid advice telling you what you must do to fix your life. Instead, they offer illuminating observations. They help you see your own strength, your own beauty, and your own answers. You never feel manipulated or managed. You simply feel like you are floating in a warm, supportive current. This subtle, graceful guidance leaves people feeling profoundly respected and deeply cherished. It is the ultimate form of care, leading someone to their own emotional truth while holding their hand along the way. If you possess this rare and beautiful personality, You may walk through life completely unaware of the breathtaking impact you leave on the souls you encounter. You might focus on your own exhaustion, your own quiet struggles, without realizing how many lives you have illuminated simply by existing. Your gentle attention is a gift that lingers long after you have left the room. You invite humanity to be softer, more honest, and far more compassionate. And if you have ever been on the receiving end of this connection, if you have ever sat with someone quiet and steady and felt an unexplainable, instant belonging, cherish that bond. You have experienced the pure, unadulterated chemistry of the INFJ. It is a connection that completely transcends time, built entirely upon the beautiful foundation of absolute emotional truth.